Welcome to Beginner's Mind. My name is Flossie, and today we're going to focus on alignment and standing postures. Because if we don't have proper alignment in our postures, we can get hurt. And we can continue to be practicing yoga without bending in the places that the body's supposed to bend. So it's really important to be aware of alignment and where is my body, and coming home to your body and connecting to your body instead of trying to look like the magazine. It's your practice, right? So let's begin the practice by sitting up really tall. Now that's the rule number one, is to sit up tall. You want to have your hips higher than your knees. So for me, I have to sit up on a couple pillows or blankets or whatever so that my hips are higher. And with your ankles, it really does hurt to have your ankle like that, but to have your ankle down like that requires more flexibility. So what you might want to do until you get your ankles more flexible is get higher, whatever that takes. But that's the eventual thing about sitting in this position, is that the foot is turned down as opposed to like that, because that's going to continue to create unhealthy support. So little by little, the hips will open in your practice and you will get the flexibility in your ankles, and little by little, the foot will be able to turn down. And notice I said little by little. It's patience. All right, patience and compassion with yourself. So we begin by really connecting with ourselves. Let's close our eyes and pull our attention inward now, like a turtle. So we're going to take a few deep breaths. Let's inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Let's do that 2 more times, just letting the breath wash over you. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. So we stay inward and we feel what we're feeling in our body, and what we want to try to feel is the connection to the earth down through our sit bones, and then your spine is nice and long, and also a connection from your crown of your head up to the sun, almost as if the crown of your head is like a sunflower or a flower and it's reaching towards the sun, and that creates the length. However, it also creates that the hips want to open more, and if that's not available to you, you can sit any way you want as long as you can get that spine long, right? So whatever that is, we don't want to be in a place of pain. And we warm the body up, but we pull in first and to center ourselves and commit ourselves to this practice with compassion and nonviolence. So let's bring our hands to our heart center, which is the bridge between heaven and earth, and just gently press your thumbs in and feel perhaps the sacredness, the reverence that resides in this moment, that resides in your body, which is your I am presence. Connecting with spirit that resides in all of creation and beyond. We do that by the breath. So let's just begin to breathe and move with awareness now. As we inhale, take the arms up, pressing up, and then exhale, take your arms out as if you're smoothing your energetic field here, and then touch the earth, connecting to the earth, grounding yourself. And then inhale, arms up again, pressing into your sit bones, lengthening the spine. This is both a physical sweep and an energetic sweep. And exhale, and plus we start to move the body and get the breath integrated with our movements. A couple more. Inhaling up, Remember, it's a practice and not a performance. And exhaling down. Let the rest of the world go on without us. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale down. Right. Okay, just to warm up a little, let's take the props away from our seat and place your hands underneath your sit bone or your hamstrings. And I'm going to show it sideways so you can see my spine. Because here we are, we're going to round the spine and pull the shoulder blades apart. And that's a nice stretch for the spine. And then push into the sit bones and pull the elbows to the waist, lifting the head to the sky. And then exhale, round back, chin to chest, belly in. And inhale, pull those shoulder blades together. And exhale. And inhale, warming up the spine. Opening the heart, exhale back, beautiful, relax the shoulders, and inhale up. Couple more, exhale back, and inhale up. So we use the breath to help warm our body up. One more time, exhale back, and inhale up. All right, now let's go ahead and flip over on all fours and continue our warm-up. And here it's important that you're stacked, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Knees are hip-width apart, good. And we're gonna pull that belly up, same thing. Round the spine, tuck the tail under. This is the cat stretch. And then we lift the tail, shoulders down and away from the ears, good. Cow. We're paying attention, you're not in a place of pain. You're at your edge. Cat, there you go. Pulling belly up, chin to chest, and cow. Now keep breathing here and moving here a few more times so we get that body, that spine really lubricated with life force, with oxygen. And we let go of the stress that attaches to our body. Now, the next time you take a cow stretch, pull the toes under just to stretch the calves and walk the hands out. So keep your hips right where they are and walk your hands out and lengthen. Just lengthen the spine. That's it. Turning your head down and pressing and breathing. And just breathing here. Keep working that cow stretch, lengthening. Beautiful. Heart towards the earth. As we very gently open and release. And if it's available with your shoulders, sway your upper body side to side. And then bring your elbows back slightly, and we're going to take a slight back bend here just to warm up. Walk your legs out behind you. Make sure your shoulder is on top of your elbow. And here, this is called Sphinx pose. Now, just for contrast, let your heels drop out and feel what that feels like when you don't support your back. So your heels drop out, and you can feel it. And then when the heels press towards one another, you can feel your lower back is supported. And that's what you want to always do, is be aware of, okay, I'm not supporting myself, and yet this is too tense. So you're going to find that balance between tension and support. So now breathing here, just drop the chin down just to release the neck. And then inhale, top of the head towards the sky, heart comes forward. And we look over our right shoulder. And we look over our left shoulder. And we come back to center. And just be here for a few moments, working the shoulder blades down the back. Pretend you have angel wings and you're tucking them in your back pocket. That's a good way to remember. Now, we need to breathe. We need to feel. The feeling is the key to whether we are practicing violence or non-violence on ourselves. Ahisma. All right. And then let's take our hands down, drop your body down, take your hands by your chest, and just for a moment here, pull the elbows back towards the waist, chin down, and feel what that feels like as you lift, start to create more strength in your back. Now we'll press into our hands, using your core, press into your hands, and then stretch all the way back, this time to a child's pose. Dropping back. So what child's pose looks like, the hips go back to the heels and your forehead goes to your knees and your arms can be up, hands can be up by your feet or out in front. And the other thing is, if it's too much of a bend, you can also put your head on the block. So take a few breaths here, just to release. Then we're on an inhalation, we're going to press into our hands and come up. Come all the way up, just on your knees here. So just still warming that body up, getting ready for some more vigorous standing poses. Take your arms up, drop the shoulders down the back. Now it's really important to pull the belly here. Pull the pubic bone up because we're going to take a slight back bend. Take your left hand behind you. Pull the pubic bone up, which supports the back, and lift your heart up and breathe. So the back bend is supported by the cat tilt, which we did before we tucked under. Squeeze those thighs together, supports you even further. Breathing, and then come up and change. So now the right arm. Pull the belly up and in, pull the pubic bone up, tail under, inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, bending right where your back arm is. That's where the back bend happens, but not too deep. Because we have to feel our edge. And this is the key to a safe yoga practice. And then come up. All right, now from here, we're just going to take our left foot forward and come into a lunge here. So find that foundation, pretend you squeeze, pull those inner thighs together. Even though you're going forward into a lunge, pull the inner thighs together. Breathing. And then drop the right hand onto the floor. And then you're going to look over your left shoulder, twisting to your left. So a gentle twist over. The twist happens from the waist up. Come back to center. Bring your hand back up. Press, squeeze those thighs together and see if we can bring our arms up, shoulders down the back. Belly is up and in here for support. Palms face one another. And we breathe. Take your hands down to the floor and straighten the leg in front of you. Inhaling and just straighten. You can use your blocks if you have them and place your hands on the blocks and just lengthen into that. Now keep breathing into that. If you need to put something extra under your knees, that's what you want to do. You want to fold your mat over a little bit, a few times. It makes for a softer floor. And then we'll bring ourselves forward and come back, and this time we'll change sides. So from here, you bring that right foot forward, bring your hands up on your thigh, and find that place of just pressing through your edge so that the knee doesn't go past the foot. Breathing, soft edges. Now drop your left hand to the floor or to a block and twist to the right. Breathing. Hips still coming forward. Heart lifted with the breath. It's always with the breath. And then come back to center. Now we place both hands back up on the thigh and then take the arms up. So we pull the belly up and in. Palms face one another and the face is soft. So feeling supported, grounded, but also lifted. So you're grounded and lifted at the same time. And then bring your arms down, and if you have the blocks, you can straighten that right leg and lift the tail behind you and breathe into that. Keep breathing, keep lengthening down the leg. So for today, we're really focusing on the physical practice because the physical is the doorway to the non-physical. So first we're really focusing on alignment and connection to ourselves and awareness. All right, now bring your knee over your foot. Let's take the block out. Let's take the right leg back. And now here we go, get ready for downward facing dog. Hands are flat, middle finger towards the front, toes are turned under, cow tilt. And just a few times, just to get the idea here, we're going to press into our hands and lift up and then come back down. So sort of like a hee-haw. So tails lifted up, press into the hands, up, keep the knees bent, and down. Just come down a few times. So you feel that feeling of pushing the mat away with your hands and coming down. And now this time we'll do that cow tilt, push up. There you go. You don't have to go for straight legs. Feet are 6 to 8 inches apart, and we are pedaling our heels here, but we keep that tail lifted. That's it. Breathing. Shoulders are wide. So take the bottom part of your elbow and move it towards the earth. Come up on your toes and then come down. So for a moment, let me show you what I just said. I said take the bottom part of your elbows towards the earth because the difference is, and I'll show it this way, if my elbows are like this, then my shoulders are like this. But if my elbows go here, my shoulders are open. So it makes the difference of this downward facing dog or this by where this elbow is. Okay? Let's try the downward facing dog one more time. Here we go. Cow tilt, toes turned under, press into those hands. Elbows go, bottom of the elbows go towards the earth, not forcing, just breathing. It's always changing. It's always changing. Good, that's beautiful. All right, one more breath, and we're gonna walk our feet between our hands, and then move your upper body around. And here, it's a cow tilt as well. See, the tail is lifted, and you're just letting yourself just melt over. Walk your fingertips to the left, and then come back to center. Walk your fingertips to the right. Breathing while you're here, because with each breath you might find a little bit more length. And now, in order to come up, we have to support ourselves. So bend your knees slightly. Press into your feet. You might have to put your hands on your thighs, which is fine. Or press in using your core. Bring yourself up. Bring yourself all the way up into this place of mountain. So let's go over mountain again, because mountain is the foundation of standing poses. Pick up your toes and press them into the earth. And when you are practicing standing poses, you want this grounded, but you don't want what I call monkey feet. Oh, gotta hold on. So there's this balance there. You have to be grounded. Now pretend that you have a block between your thighs, because we've done this before, and that block is there, and squeeze the block. Squeeze your thighs together, and look what happens. You ground right to the earth. Connects you, but it doesn't lock you up. This is that same feeling that you want in most of your poses so that you get this foundation. And the other thing is that we think of this as a bowl, and we have to be careful where our bowl is, because if our bowl is too much this way or too much this way, then we're not in alignment. We want that bowl in alignment, and then the spine sits straight in the bowl. Now, when we do these standing poses, it's about a long spine, not a compressed spine. So part of our pain comes from compression or improper alignment. And that's exaggerated, but okay, here we go. So I'm going to push into my feet. I'm going to pull my bowl so it's level and lift my spine and elongate. And then visualize that there's something lifting my head towards the light. And that in and of itself gives you a beautiful awareness of myself, of yourself. So just close your eyes for a moment. Feel lines of energy going down your feet, out your arms, up your spine, up through your crown and into the earth. So you are a radiant being of energy with lines of energy going through. Now, pretend your hands, we're just gonna do a little practice of lines of energy. Pretend that your hands, you're going to orchestrate from a 1 to a 10, a 4, 10 being the most energy you could put down there. You're going to do a 4 down your arm. So just orchestrate a 4. What does a 4 feel like? Okay, now orchestrate a 6, an 8, a 10. Still shouldn't be straining. No straining, it's just you have the power. Go back to 7. Go to a 3. Go to a 6. And see, you have the capacity, and then relax, at all times to orchestrate how much energy, lines of energy you're going to put through there. And obviously, sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less. That's why you need to pay attention to what's going on for you. Because if I'm in a pose and I need an 8 in my legs, and I maybe need a 6 or a 5 in my arms, because if I have too much, it's this, right? But I need the energy here, because if not, look what happens. So that's the basis of how you want to be stable in the poses. All right, so here we go. Do have some salutations, and then we'll do some standing poses all by themselves. All right, so picking your toes up. So mountain pose is the foundation of all standing poses. So this feeling that you have here right now is the foundation for all the other standing poses. And that means that your abdominals are pulled up slightly. And for me, that means I'm tucked under slightly, and yet I'm not straining. I'm ready to create. I'm ready to express. That's what we're here for, to express. All right, so here we go. Take your arms out and up, maintaining the pelvic bowl alignment and the length in the spine. Pull that belly up and in, but relax your shoulders. And then let's grab hold of our left wrist. Inhale up tall and exhale over to the right. Bending and breathing. Now, here's the thing. We don't want to compress the spine, so we don't want this. It's not further is better. It's a long spine. So lengthen on the inhalation and soften on the exhalation. Lengthen on the in and soften, pushing into your left foot. Find the foundation. Good. And then we'll drop that right arm down. Keep lengthening. Maybe you can turn your head and look up. Breathing. Beautiful. And then on an inhalation, we use our core and we bring it up. And now let's take the other side. So we'll grab hold of our right wrist. Inhale tall, palm is down. It's better for the shoulder. And exhale over to the left. And continue that journey of lengthening, squeezing those inner thighs, determining how much of a line of energy you need to establish your foundation. So your practice should be in a place of ease and grace, strength and wisdom. Beautiful. Inhale up, and let's bring our hands to our heart. Because there's nothing to prove, it's just to be. So touch your fingers into your heart. And then let your eyes float open. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now we'll practice Warrior One, which is one of the major standing poses. I think we better do one half sun salutation before that. Okay, so arms out and up. And let's bend at the hips, cow tilt. That's right, cow tilt. Push that tail back, swan dive down. You're gonna have soft knees. And allow yourself, that's good, to keep lengthening down. What we're doing here is cow tilt. Keep lengthening the spine on each exhalation, pulling that belly up and in. So you determine how bent your knees are. But it's about the long spine. And with each exhalation, you keep cascading over your thighs. And then we're going to inhale up to a flat back, which means placing your hands on your shins just beneath your knees. Breathing here, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale down. See, my legs are not totally straight. Now with my core, I have to press in and up, using my core to come all the way up. Reverse swan dive. I like it slow, hands to heart, so you can feel, instead of rushing. Okay. So from here, come to the front of your mats, and we're going to step back with our left foot. And we're going to step back so that it pretends that we are heel to heel, straight back. But now here's the thing, hips need to be front. So hips are front, shoulders are front, and in order to get that hip front, for me, I have to take my back leg and move it out a little bit, so that my left hip is front. There you go. So find that place where the hips are front. Now, I determine my lines of energy down my legs. I get my bowl where it's level, which means for me I have to keep tucking under and pulling the right hip back, right? Yeah. And then hands on the hips, press a few times into this lunge, pushing down through the back of your left pinky toe. Come forward, good. And press down and forward and down, just to feel that line of energy out the back, but feel this in the front as well. So keeping the spine upright, down, stay here, right hip is pulling back, good. Left hip comes forward. If you feel stable, and it also means you have to pull those inner thighs together, you lengthen the spine, and the same thing. We bring the arms up, but even the fingertips are radiating the life force. Everything, everything. Now just breathe and conduct the energy through your body with the breath. Breathing, and we can even take our hands out to the front. Now this is Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1, and there's lots of variations that you can do with this. You can lace your fingers and bend right here where we bend at all times with a long spine, pushing into your legs and leading with your heart, with your breath, with your awareness, to find a place deep in the hips. Long spine. Notice you don't collapse the spine. Breathe into the sensations. You take it wherever it is. You might be up here, which is perfect. And then now we'll stay here for a few more breaths. And then with awareness and a breath, press into your feet. Inhale, press up. And let's bring the hands back out in front. This is warrior one. Hips are front. Now we're going to go to warrior two. And what happens in warrior two, our hips are side. So our legs are going to stay right where they are. Our left hand is going to open up around and our hips open up. And for me, so does my foot, so did your foot, see? The hips are now side. Huge difference between 1 and 2. Big stretch here with the hips, right? So we might have to adjust. You want to try to make sure that your heels are in a line and you're facing the side. All right, now, knee on top of the foot, back left pinky toe pressed in to support. So your left arch is really lifting. All right, now, so get your grounding. Tuck your tail under, pull that belly up and in. Good. Soften your shoulders, take your palms up and palms down. And now, as if someone has your arms and they're pulling your arms away to relax your arms and your chest. This is warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. We're looking down our right fingertips and we're breathing. And then from there we would hold this, because just holding this pose, you're holding your whole body. Now make sure you're upright and not like that. There you go, big difference, yeah. You want the length in the spine, which requires the strength in the legs. Now we're going to move on with this. We're going to take our right forearm and push it against our thigh, not hanging out, but against, pushing against so it keeps the spine long, and the left arm goes up. The neck is in line with the spine, and keep the chin tucked under slightly, good. And lengthening here. The spine is long, and if you want, you take that arm over the ear with the palm down. And there's a long line of energy from your fingertips to your toes, and we breathe. So we develop strength and length in our yoga practice. And then with awareness and an inhalation, push into your feet and use your whole, good. Let's take an exalted warrior so the right arm comes up and the left arm comes down. Breathing. And then we come back up. Now I'm going to do one more on this side. This is warrior two, we're going to straighten our right leg and bend right here, lengthening the spine, pushing the hip out to the left, yes, as long as you can go. Breathing into it, and then taking the balance of up and down, but don't collapse the spine. In other words, it's not here, it's a long spine. Breathing, pushing into that left leg, remember, orchestrating the energy, and rotating that heart open. Breathing. Finding that place of grace and ease, strength and awareness. And if your arm gets tired, you can wrap it around your back, left arm around your back. And to get out of that, we are going to inhale, feel as if someone's pulling your left arm up. Up you go. And let's drop our hands down. And then let's step forward with our left foot and bring it home. So let's take a swan dive down to release all that. Feel your left side of your body like, hello. And swan dive. And allow yourself to just melt. And then pressing into your feet with your core, we lift back up. This is important, how you get up. Good. Lifting up, you let your whole body participate in the lift. And then bring the hands to the heart and go inside. And just feel the energy flowing. Practice gratitude for this gift. And then let your eyes float open. Okay, so now we're at the top of our mats again. How you doing, okay? Good. All right, so step back with your right foot this time. And you'll find that each side of your body is different. I feel like I'm inhabited by two different total energies here. So heels are lined up, and in order to get the hips front now, you have to turn your back leg perhaps forward, right? Correct. So whatever you have to do, because this is what you don't want. In Warrior One, a lot of people go like that. You want the hips front, and so that means you have to adjust your back ankle, which may or may not speak to you. So bending into your lunge here a few times, it does require flexibility in the ankles, and that's why we do a lot of work with the ankles to get the flexibility. So we're breathing into the lunge, keeping the awareness of the line of energy in the back and the pelvic bowl and the spine being long, but pull that belly in to support. That's why I laugh when people say, well, yoga's not going to make me stronger. I said, well, let's try doing it. Play. Okay, now let's hold it here, because just to hold your body in place right here requires strength. And you might find yourself shaking, and if you do, know that that's part of the body's trying to catch up with what you're asking it to do. So it's not wrong, and the shaking will stop eventually, but it's not. The shaking is okay. If you feel grounded, remember you should be able to pick your toes up to a certain degree. Find those lines of energy, whether you're doing an 8 or a 4, and a long line up, whatever it is, and then the arms come up, and here's Warrior One, hips front. Soft face, and keep orchestrating the lines of energy. Keep pulling that pubic bone up to support the length in the spine, and play your edges. And as you notice things about your practice, you'll notice, oh, I'm tensing my chin, my jaw, or oh, I've got my shoulders up my back. So with awareness, you figure this out. And then bring the hands in front. Just holding this for a moment and breathing. Wobbling is allowed, falling is encouraged. Because when you're learning to ride a bike or walk, you learn by falling. Now, let's lace our fingers behind us. Keep this back leg strong, and the place you're going to bend is right here, because squeezing those shoulder blades, you're going to open your heart and bend right at the hips. That's right. So bending now, push through that back leg. Feel your way through this to discern if you have proper alignment, if it's honoring you. Oh, that's beautiful. And the teacher's going down. And it wouldn't be the first time. So breathing, and with awareness and with your core, inhale, press into that leg. And let's let those arms float back up. It's funny, when you open yourself up, you find more space to play. Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. And then take your arms out in front, and we're going to transition here to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So the left hand's going to stay where it is, and then the right hand and the hip are going to turn out to the right. There you go, and that means the foot, usually the feet have to adjust. There you go. Now, I don't know about you, but my shoulders are ready to have a little massage, so I'm going to take my palms up and down. But I'm going to check my alignment from the ground up. Long line of energy. Lifting my right arch. Squeezing my thighs together. Look what that does. That really supports you. Good. And then taking the left hand down now and pressing it against the thigh, and the right arm comes up. Lengthen the spine rather than compress the left side. Beautiful. And then if it's available, palm down from the fingertips to the right baby toe, long line of energy. Breathing. If you can't breathe, you're working too hard. And your breath is a signal of your emotional state as well. So it's time to come out. We're going to inhale and press up. Using your core, good. Let's take an exalted warrior. Left arm comes up, right arm comes down. Pressing, tucking for me, tucking the tail under, yeah. And then come up, and from here we're going to take triangle. So we'll straighten our left leg. Trikonasana. And then you push your hip to the right and lengthen your spine over. And you find that place where there's no more plate, there's no more room to go. When you found that place, then beautiful. Then you take your left arm down and your right arm up, and you continue to orchestrate the pose. It's never that you're really there. It's that you're creating it in every moment. So yes, you perhaps will look down to the floor or look up to the sky, whichever, as long as your neck is in line with your spine. And let's breathe. Couple more breaths. And on the inhalation, as if someone's grabbing your right hand, use your core, pull your belly in. And then from here, let's just bend our left knee, step forward, and come to the front of our mats. So that's warrior one, warrior two, and triangle pose. So let's ground ourselves here. And feel. And breathe. So I think it's time for a twist. Right? We've done a lot. So we'll do a standing twist here. Lift your toes, press your feet into the earth. And then we're going to sit back into an imaginary chair and see that you can look down to see your toes. All right, so the spine is long here, the belly's up and in, and that's the thing. And from here, we're going to take our left hand across our thigh and our right hand on our sacrum. And twisting to the right, long spine. Yeah, drop your hips back just a little bit more. Good. And breathe. The twist really releases the pressure and the anxiety, massages your internal organs. And then there's a lot of variations for this, but this is the more gentle one. Come back to center. Let's do a cat to release, and then a cow. Pull the shoulders back, good. And let's take the other side. And now the right arm comes across the thigh, and the left arm floats back around, and the twist happens from the waist up. But you certainly can feel this in your hips. I mean, we're doing a twist, but my hips are talking to me. Breathing. Come back. Take a breath. Now press into your feet. Inhale, up. All the way up. Press into the earth to ground yourself, because that was pretty deep. Tuck your tail under, and then exhale back. And inhale up. And exhale, hands to heart. All right. And so a variation on what we just did, let's do in between some of the standing poses, we do a neutral pose to kind of get us to relax a little bit, because standing poses are very invigorating, they're strengthening, they're definitely challenging and warming. So we're going to take a break here by taking a forward bend. Arms up, and then cow tilt and bend right at the hips, and allow yourself on the exhalation to let go. This is our break here. So we just keep letting go. And then pressing into your feet. Come on up. Using your core. All the way out and up. And then here, our break is over. So we're going to sit back into our imaginary chair again. So this chair pose is we look down to see our knees, and we can look down to see our toes. Now arms are up by the ears. Remember our rule of thumb in the downward facing dog is we don't want to crunch our shoulders. However, if this is too much, sit here. Keep the shoulders drawn back. Breathing here. Or if that's too much, you can do it here. But what you want is that long spine. Good. Pulling that belly in. Beautiful. Just feeling, because you don't want that and you don't want that. You want that long spine where you're sitting. Sitting down. Remember, it's not a performance. It's a practice. See if you can be here with strength and ease and length and grace. Good awareness. All right, we're time to come out. Inhale, press up. Let's take a squeezing our thighs together. Tuck the tail under. Lift the heart. And then come up and bring your hands to your heart. And go inside one more time. So feeling that mountain pose. Right. Okay. So now let's go ahead and open our feet just a little. Just to give our hips, go down into our hips. This is called the star. Taking your arms out and up. And I always visualize this as just really practicing my lines of energy and my alignment. Breathing here. Right. Okay. Now, turn your toes out just a little bit more. You might be off your mat just a little bit. And then what we're going to do is bring the knees over the feet and the arms out to the side. This is goddess. And then inhale up. But in order to do goddess without pain, you've got to tuck your tail under, right? You don't want to have what I lovingly call the duck butt. The ducks don't get insulted when I say that. But you want to keep that tail tucked under and press those knees out and work with the breath. And this is going to give us the flexibility in the hips that helps us with all our yoga postures and the flexibility in the arms and shoulders. So let's hold it. Next time we go down, let's hold it. Breathing here and just be. Keep those elbows in line with the heart and breathe. Feeling those thighs, feeling that centeredness in the midst of everything else. And then inhale, press up. Let's turn our toes in slightly so we release this now and come all the way to the ground. And then arms in, out, and up. And 2 more times. It just releases that down and through. Arms in, using your core, not your back. We use both together. That's the thing. Everybody thinks it's their back, but you pull that belly up and in, and the whole body works together. All right, now feet are parallel, and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Tuck your tail. Press into your legs and lift your heart. Breathing. And then we're going to come to 90 degrees here. I'm going to come to a forward bend. I'm going to cow tilt, so lift your tail, spread those sit bones, lengthen your spine, just stay at 90 degrees. Your feet should be one of your legs apart. And actually works pretty good on the floor as well. Now breathe. Keep breathing. Your knees can be soft. You don't want your knees locked. And if it's available to you, you can let your body go all the way down and your arms up. And if that's not available, you can take your hands down, or you can put your hands on a block and find that place where you can release and just let go. And now move your hips side to side. Just move side to side. Then move your knees side to side. let your head hang. And then we'll get out of this in a hopefully a graceful way. Toe heel in, toe heel, toe heel, toe heel. Bend into your knees and come up again. Arms down, out, up. But if that's too much for your back, don't engage your arms. Come up, press into the earth, tuck the tail, exhale back. Inhale up. And once again, hands to heart. And feel. So just the standing postures alone are quite a workout. I mean, you can feel it. And that was not long at all, but you can certainly feel that we've held our legs. And in other sequences, we do the balancing postures, we do the tree, and we do all the different ones. But we're going to start to take it down now. We're going to take it to the floor to start to let the body integrate and relax a little bit. So let's come to the floor, and one of the things you might want to do on the floor is set your pillow up again, because we're going to do some forward folds here. Sitting up, like we said before, so that the hips are higher than the legs. And what that does is it pushes your sacrum forward. Notice this instead of this. That's why we sit on the edge of it. So come forward, sit on the edge, it pushes you forward, yeah? All right, so let's just pull those toes back and forward and back and forward, back and forward. And now let's take the right leg and take it over the left and sit up as tall as you can. Breathing here. And take the left arm and wrap it around. Now maybe you can't wrap it around. Maybe you say, well, what the heck? So it's just here. The most important thing is that you are here and not here. And you don't want this foot. You can take this foot. If you don't have the flexibility to bring that foot up, you can take the foot further out. So we can be tall and whatever tall is. And then we take the wrap so that the left arm is around. Take the right arm out, and we're going to take a twist. We're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, we twist to the right. And we pause on the inhalation, and we exhale, and we twist. We continue to hold. Pause on the inhalation, and twist. One more time, pause. Inhale, pause, exhale, twist. Take that right hand behind you and push into the floor to lengthen your spine. And it's massaging your organs here. And breathing. Releasing. And then inhale, grow tall. And then let's exhale and release. And just de-rotate the other way. It feels kind of good, just rotating the other way. And back to center. And before we take the other side now, let's take this leg on the inside with the left leg straight in front. Point flexing that. Inhale, up. And we're going to take a forward fold, but we know that the fold happens right here, not in the back. So we inhale, lengthen. You can put something under your knee like that, or you can put something under your knee like that. Either way. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Keep the toe up, inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Now we could even use straps here if we wanted to. Place your fingers on the floor, and on the inhalation, lengthen, lift your heart, that's it, and exhale, down, and inhale, lengthen, and exhale down, and inhale, lengthen. Notice that I'm not collapsing, and it doesn't matter how far down I go. That has nothing to do with it. Because sometimes at the end of a forward fold, we call it the dangle. So here we are. Now we'll allow ourselves to dangle if that feels okay. The dangle is here. But notice when you dangle, the stretch totally changes. So we want to keep that heart up as much as possible. All right, now we'll walk our hands back and rebuild the stack of our spine, inhaling up. And then we'll remove our props. And take your legs out. Let's take the other side. Bounce them around a little bit. Now the left leg over the right. You determine how far up or down. And then the right arm reaches around for that long spine, arms out in front. And we move, we lengthen on the inhalation, and we exhale and move. Lengthen on the inhalation, exhale, twist. The twist only happens from the waist up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. One more time, inhale, lengthen. To the end until you it's not twisting anymore. You place your hand on the floor right at the base of your spine and you continue the inhale lengthening, exhale twisting. Inhale lengthen, exhale twist. Inhale lengthen, exhale twist. One more. And then on the inhalation, we come back slowly, because our organs have just taken a nice massage. De-rotate the other way. Feels good. Come back to center. All right, let's place our foot on the inside, and here we'll take that right leg is straight out in front, and if you need to, put something under the knee so that it keeps our spine long. We want that spine long. That's the key to a healthy spine, is a long spine. All right, here we go. Arms up. Remember that the right knee is soft if you need it to be. And then exhale, travel. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, travel. Oh, that's beautiful. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, travel. And bring your hands down. And continue, just like the twist, even though it doesn't appear that you're doing anything, you can feel it. And feel the shoulders pulling down the back as your heart comes forward and your face is soft. So we discern parts of our body need to be active here, and other parts need to release. Breathing and feeling that. And then you feel your edge, and then you know, okay, this is my edge, and then I've crossed over to pain. Don't cross over to pain. If you're really feeling it, you could say, okay, too far, pull back, or just a little bit deeper. And then on the next exhalation, let's allow the dangle. Just allow the dangle, pulling the belly in so that you can fall over. And then we'll inhale and exhale here. And then on the inhalation, use your whole core. Pull up, inhale. See, that's good. It's supported. It makes a difference when you support yourself. So everybody thinks it's just about the back, but it's really about the belly as well. That being said, let's go ahead and get ready on our backs. Bring your knees to your chest. And just roll around. We'll just roll around just a moment. Twist, place your hands on your knees and just make circles. Releasing one direction and the other. And because we did do a lot of ankle, strenuous ankle moves today to support our warriors, let's take our arms down by our side. Keep your sacrum on the floor, bring your toes up, and let's point and flex. Still trying to support our ankles with flexibility, which is just like the flexibility in the hips and the spine and the chest for your yoga practice. All parts of your body participate. So rotate in and out, circles.
And here we go. Now we're going to place our feet hip width apart, right at our buttocks. And it's always interesting to me, people's perceptions of their hips. It's, directly next to your buttocks. So we're going to cat tilt here and push into our feet to lift our hips up. Engage your inner thighs into the bridge pose. And then you can snuggle your shoulder blades together underneath and keep feeling your way through this. So you should be up on your shoulders, breathing to your edges, feeling the openness in the heart, but also the strength in the legs. So obviously soften the face. And then because we're just breathing into our belly, just observe the breath. And each breath you can orchestrate at a different place. But it's certainly orchestrated by you, by your feelings. Ultimately, that's what life is about. Then bring your arms open, and then let's bring our spine down on the mat, one vertebra at a time. And that's good for an ah. And then bring your knees to chest again, and let's just roll around. One direction and then the other. So there's always a move that I like to do that helps to stretch the front and strengthen the back, and then also stretch the back and strengthen the front. And that happens like this. If you take your knees into your chest and pull in and bring your head and shoulders off the floor, squeezing in like this, as long as it doesn't strain your neck. Here I am pulling my belly up and in, which is strengthening my belly, and I'm stretching my back. Now I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to place my arms over my head, place my feet back into that bridge plate position. Now I'm going to stretch my front and strengthen my back as I press up into the bridge. So now the front is stretched, the back is active. And then I'm going to drop back down slowly and then do the opposite. Engage your core and stretch your back. So here I am strengthening and lengthening simultaneously. And then inhale back and then up to bridge. And this is a great way to balance your body. But when you come into this ball, make sure you engage the belly so that you're strengthening and using your core to lift your head and shoulders off the floor. And let's do this a few more times. Move with your breath. Squeeze on the exhalation. So you're detoxing. And then inhale on the lengthening and exhaling. All right. Let's take our right knee into our chest, pull it in, take the left leg long to the floor, strengthen it, lengthen out. Breathing here, releasing the back, winding down. And any one of these things that we did today, any one of these asanas and positions, you can do for longer, you can do for shorter. Whatever honors your practice. And every day your practice is going to be different. All right, let's take the other side, pressing down. So there's other series where we focus on back bends and we focus on balancing postures and forward bends and seated postures. So in each of the different series here, we focus on a different aspect of the practice. And today was mostly standing, but we always end with a yummy twist and shavasana. So let's stretch our arms over our head and stretch our legs long. Because all the postures, the only reason for all these postures is to get our body in a place where we can sit in stillness. So it releases the tension, it releases the angst, and it allows us to sit Be still and know that I am. All right, let's take the arms out to the side. Bring the knees up. So let's cross the right leg over the left, squeezing the inner thighs together. Drop the knees to the left and look to the right, keeping the right shoulder on the floor and breathing. And letting go. Couple more breaths. With awareness, bring your legs back up. And you can do this without crossing. I'll do this on the other side without crossing. So you bring your knees up and you drop your knees to the right and look to the left. And the lower your knees, the less intense it is. So you decide on how deep you want the stretch. So you look to the left and you decide where your knees are. Or they can be crossed like they were on the other side. So just breathing. Feeling the release, letting go. And now with awareness and with our core, we pull in our knees and then take any one final stretch that you want to take, and we prepare for Shavasana, final relaxations pose. So you might need to put something under your knees or something under your neck. But the idea here is that you completely let go. So let's take a few breaths here so that soften in the postures. The muscle is hugging the bone. And in Shavasana, it's the absolute opposite, where the muscle falls away and we soften and we breathe and we let go. Feeling yourself surrender and be completely in this moment. And if your mind wanders to the past or to the future, just bring it back and focus on the breath. And visualize yourself in a beautiful place or space. It keeps you into this place of open receptivity. Feeling your connection with your body, with your breath, and most importantly with your heart, because your heart never lies. And you can stay here as long as you want. Put on some beautiful music and just float. We're going to gently wiggle our fingers and toes and bring ourselves back. And then bring your knees to your chest very slowly. Roll over on your right side. And then just be in the fetal position for just a few moments. And then with your left hand, press in and slowly bring yourself up. And you might want to sit back on your pillow. And here now, staying interiorized, you're ready for meditation. And that's what the whole practice is about. Preparing yourself to sit still in a comfortable seated position. And if this isn't comfortable, you can sit on a chair. But notice now
how our spine feels compared to the way when we started the practice, and how our body feels more opened and prepared to be still, if that's available to you. You want that comfortable seated position. Sometimes we take the palms up as if we're receiving, and other times we need to be grounded, palms can be down. And we just let go. And be. And feel and breathe. I say that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening. And the divine is always communicating with us, but most of the time we're too busy to listen or to pay attention. So sitting in stillness, we start to be able to feel the messages, the guidance that's coming from our higher self, or from the, whatever you want to call the divine, the wisdom of the universe coming through. So let's bring our hands together and press into your thumbs into your heart as we can acknowledge the sacredness in all of creation and beyond. And we wish all beings everywhere be happy and free. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. So be it. Namaste.